Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first RMG Live on Facebook. RMG, of course, short for Rooftop Marketing Group. I am Scott Gumbar. I am the I call it Chief Growth Officer at Rooftop Marketing, and with me is...
Hello, everyone. My name is Johnny Aguera. I'm also one of the owners of Rooftop Marketing Group, and my role in the company is to do business development, to help contractors grow in different areas of their lives and also businesses.
It's awesome. Awesome. We are, of course, here today. We tried this a couple times, Yanni. We had some technical difficulties, but we're here today. We're live today on our Rooftop Marketing Group Facebook page. So if you don't know, you go to facebook.com/rooftop marketing. And we're going to talk about innovation in business. But before we get to that, we want to tell you about our home improvement. You know, that's the Spanish version. So I'll let Yanni read that one. Our seminar coming up on February 22nd, so 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Sure, and let me tell you a little bit about it in Spanish, just as a brief note. Es un seminario para contractores hispanos que estén interesados en iniciar o hacer crecer sus negocios. Estará tomando lugar en Springfield, Massachusetts, el 22 de febrero del 2020 de este año. I just said, Scott, that our upcoming seminar would be February 22nd, 2020 in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yep. So here's the... No, that's the English version there. Home Improvement Business Owners Seminar. We call it HIBS for short. Well, I call it HIBS. I don't think anybody else is actually calling it HIBS, but I call it HIBS for short. HIBBS. So yes, you can still sign up. We still have some spots available. You can call. You can go to the website and do it. The website, of course, scrolling at the bottom of your screen there. And sign up. Come join us. You'll learn all kinds of good stuff about how to build your service business using the internet, using good old-fashioned marketing, and learn some of the rules of doing business in your area. Yanni, do you have any updates in your business? So Yanni owns Yargetta Construction as well. I don't know if you said that already.
I didn't say that. Yeah, I am the owner of Yargetta Construction, which is a roofing company that offers both commercial and residential roofing services, as well as siding. We also do gutters and windows. And concerning innovation, I think one of the keys for any contractor is to be able to adapt to the changes that are taking place in our society today. And one of those big changes is technology.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, for instance, which is what we are doing right now, has grown so much in terms of doing business. Just you said a little update. Towards the end of last year, we sold quite a few jobs via Facebook, believe it or not. We were contacted via Messenger, and we send the quote via Messenger as you can attach files. And that's how we carried out a couple of proposals. We actually closed a couple of jobs via Facebook Messenger.
That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So we're going to talk more about that. Yanni, you disappeared for a second there. We're going to talk more about innovation. So I do have an update. I just scheduled a speaking engagement for March at the Mid-State Chamber on how to protect yourself and your business on social media. So it kind of ties into innovation. Of course, if you're going to use those things, you have to know how to protect yourself and your business, because lots of scam artists out there. So you have to be ready for that. So that'll be March 19th at 7:45 a.m. And there's one of two addresses it'll be. So I'll share that information when we finalize the address. But it'll be in Meriden, Connecticut.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Great.
I'm excited because there's a lot to know about protecting yourself on social media.
Yeah, you have to know how to do that.
Yes.
That is for sure.
Yes, sir. As I said earlier, today's topic is innovation in business. Yanni mentioned it as well. This is going to, our first 4 episodes will be around our 4 guiding principles that we have at Rooftop Marketing. So that's integrity, excellence, creativity, and then of course today is innovation. So the next episode will be one of the other 3. Um, but today we're here to talk about innovation and how a lot of businesses don't grow, and we see it all the time. So we saw that Macy's is now closing a bunch of stores, and a lot of that is because of innovation. And then on the flip side of that, it was interesting. Saw someone share that, and we're just using any businesses, not just service businesses, but we'll get to the service business stuff in a moment. And so I saw that Wendy's is now going to offer breakfast. And my first thought was, that's not really innovative because all the other fast food chains already do that. And you're kind of late to the game at that point. And I think you need to figure out a way to innovate your business in order, because I'm sure they're doing it because they're losing to some of the other fast food restaurants. And we've talked about this, how McDonald's and Taco Bell have kiosks now.
Hmm.
And so they're doing some more automation and things like that, trying to improve service, improve delivery. And Wendy's is not doing that. So we've had this conversation before, right, Yanni?
Yes,
Um,
you
so
did.
yeah,
Yes.
let's talk about innovation in business.
And it's interesting going back to the example of McDonald's. Um, sometimes I take my own kids there, and it is interesting how even the kids are drawn to that kiosk, to that screen, and you are able to basically place an order with details. You can customize your burger, you can customize your drink, and that's something new, and that's what innovation means. One basic definition would be a new idea, a new method, or a new device. And that's basically by the kiosks. It's something new, but at the same time, it's just changing everything. You place your order, you go sit, and they bring the food to you. As simple as that.
Exactly. And then the flip side of that, Wendy's offering breakfast is not something new. It's something that all the other chains already do. And, they're behind in some cases by decades because some of them have been doing it for decades. So it's not innovation. And, I don't think it's going to help them. And in fact, it could end up hurting them by being late to the game because now, they're offering a service. They're going to have to pay for people to be there. They're going to have to pay for the lights to be on and the grills and whatever else to be on, and they may not have the sales to support that. So that's where you see businesses like Macy's and like Sears closed last year, and
Hmm.
a bunch of other businesses that are going out of business because they're refusing to innovate. And
Yes.
along those lines, you mentioned social media, but let's talk about innovation just in roofing. We've had some conversations with a potential partner with us for some events, right?
Yep.
Because there's a new way to do roofing, especially here in the Northeast where it gets cold, really cold in the winter with bad weather and really hot in the summer. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
And innovation in the roofing business, for instance, nowadays we have a way to measure roofs via satellite. And when you think about it, in some cases, if you already have a client and he's just requesting extra services, some clients have several properties. So you don't even have to drive to the property. You can just measure the roof, and you pay a very low amount of money to get the report. You save yourself a trip, you save yourself time and a lot of stuff, and you get a nice professional report for basically the same amount of money. Because when you start talking about gas cost, time investment, then when you round everything up, it would be even more to go to take a trip. So, that's innovation there, right in a practical way. You measure a roof with a satellite, with an app, and you get a beautiful professional report that is very accurate. It gives you great pictures. So that's a great tool that you can use, and you can save yourself a lot of trips and time. It also gives yourself a better presentation with the customers. Um, Another thing about innovation is that roofing products, they will continue to change. GAF, for example, they just actually introduced a new shingle. And they changing the shingle because they're trying to improve it. They're trying to make it last longer. They're trying to make the shingle have a better definition in terms of color. So it is important for roofers to know what the latest products are, because at the end of the day, it will save you some money and it will save you time when it comes to installation.
It's awesome. Yeah. So, but that also goes to show it doesn't have to be a technology business to be innovative. You can be any business. Any business can innovate, and it goes to show the importance where, you know, not to put anybody down or say anybody doesn't do their job well. Doing your job
Hmm.
well is certainly part of being in business
Hmm.
and an important part of being in business. But if you don't innovate how you do your job, if you don't look at what you're doing and say, if we don't change, we're going to be out in the cold. We don't change this, this, and this, we're going to be out in the cold. You're setting yourself up for failure, and it may not be tomorrow, but eventually you're going to be out in the cold, and other businesses are going to pass you by.
I agree.
Um, yep.
I agree.
So there's also we've talked about metal roofing, which will
Hmm.
be, especially here in the Northeast, will be um, a growing, and I've seen it growing already. We've talked about, in the Northeast, there are people getting solar panels, so you have to know how to work with and around that. So you have to innovate. Um,
That is correct.
yep. So so this is part of what we do. We do help businesses look for ways to innovate. Um, just not just on social media, and social media is a big part of business today. There's no denying it. If you're not utilizing social media, if you're not utilizing Google, you're not getting your message out there. This is the way people want to be. They want to be communicated to through those channels, through social media, through Google, through and you're going to see more innovation. Voice search, voice. You have. I don't want to say the word because then mine will go off. But the Amazon version of voice search, and then Google has their version, and of course iPhone had Siri for a while. Siri didn't innovate, so less and less people are using Siri. Um, Microsoft was late to the game, so less and less people are using Microsoft's version. And as a matter of fact, I disable that on my computers. And I have the Amazon version all over the house, and can't say the word because it'll turn on and start listening. But these are ways. So that's how we have to innovate. We have to say, okay, people might search for this on Amazon or on Google Home, and they don't provide 10 results. They provide one result. So innovation in how people search. People don't search. They don't always go on Google and say, I need a roofer. They go on Google and say, what do I do if I have a leak in my roof?
Right.
Right. So you have to get in the head of your audience, your client, your potential clients, and search. And then Google now has Google Guaranteed, which Yargetta uses, right?
Yes, we do.
And this
Yeah.
is innovation. This is innovation because a couple of years ago it wasn't there.
It just came out. I would say when it's got like a year ago.
I think they initially started about 2 years ago with a couple of business types. Locksmith was one of them. I don't remember what the other one was. And they've now expanded to probably 30 to 40 industries, roofing being one of them.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, we have used it, and it has been very efficient. The leads that they give you are very good, and the cost is very reasonable. It is actually $35 per lead, and at the end of the day, when you make your numbers, it's a very reasonable uh, cost for a nice lead. And
And-
obviously, as everything else, conversion is up to the salesperson.
right. But so that's an important point though, because it's a warm lead. It's not just a number that they're giving to 20 different roofers. They're giving it to you to follow up, to call. Well, actually, so the client calls you directly from the ad. So that
Yep,
you're speaking directly to the client, and at that point, like you said, it's yours to sell or lose.
yep, yeah. It's totally different than other lead generation
Right,
methods. Yeah,
right.
that is very effective. And I just want to touch on something you said. You mentioned the social media, and social media, as mentioned before, is big. But when it comes to finding roofers, nowadays the number of towns that have Facebook pages, a lot of people are relying more and more on social media for
Mm,
recommendations.
right.
And this is innovation. You have to have a presentable, updated page on Facebook. That way people can actually look at your profile, look at your pictures, and look at who you are as a company.
Right.
And they will find something that through innovation you will get is trust. They want to trust you. But in order for them to trust you, they need to have some proof, like a Facebook page, which is big, a website. You have to have some Google reviews. And when you add all those elements, then I would say the byproduct is trust from a consumer perspective.
That's a good point. You do build a certain level of trust. So let's start with the Facebook groups. So there are Facebook groups. Every town has at least one. Many of them have multiple groups. So in Meriden, there's at least four that I know of.
Yep.
Um, and you see people look for recommendations for all different types of businesses all the time. For some reason, pizza is asked all the time. I don't know why. um, but they ask, they'll ask for insurance, best car insurance, best roofer, best electrician, best computer repair. They'll ask for all of these things in these groups, and they're looking for recommendations. Now, they're not just going to take the recommendations. They're now going to look at the business's Facebook page, like you said, the business's Google reviews. Do they have decent reviews? If all your reviews are ones and twos, you're not you're not setting a good first impression. Do they have pictures of their work? Do they have a website? Do they have maybe reviews on the website? Do they have pictures of at least the owner or the management, something on that website or on the internet? Because if I look at a website and I see a picture of you, and then some other person shows up at my door that I'm not, and they say they're you, right there, that's not a good level of trust. But
Mhm.
that's also part of innovation. That's, you're utilizing things, you're utilizing technology to grow your business. It's sad to say, but I do believe a lot of service type businesses, roofers, electricians, plumbers, things like that, painters, they don't believe they need to do that. And the ones that do it do quite well with it because there's not as many. We had a conversation about how many roofers there are just in Meriden. We had this conversation earlier this week,
Yep.
and I didn't realize there was as many as there were. But why didn't I realize it? Because they don't have websites, because they don't have Facebook pages. They don't have a presence on the internet.
Yep.
Yeah, they're relying on old school marketing, which in some instances, old school marketing still works. So direct
Yes, it does.
mail, yeah. So direct mail is actually making a comeback because we don't get as much mail as we used to.
Yep.
But if you're not on the internet where people can research you, you're doing your business a disservice.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like you said, we are not discouraging anyone um, to stop doing like mailing, direct mailing, postcards,
Right.
even depending on the service you offer, door knocking, if you do it right. Because nowadays there's a very high level of skepticism about a
Hmm.
person approaching your door. Why? Because packages are disappearing. More and more people are putting surveillance in their homes because of
Hmm.
the same issue. A lot of vehicles are being stolen. So then door knocking, yes, has been very effective, but also is it because of what's going on in our society, skepticism is growing about people showing up to your door.
Right. That's very true. I'm
So
skeptical.
so that's why we encourage people to just embrace. I think the word embrace, to embrace change. Change is basically unavoidable. It will continue to change.
Right.
Everything will continue to change. Technology
Exactly.
will continue to advance. You remember when the flip phones came out, it was the walkie-talkies. That was the greatest thing we ever
And next
saw,
else. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you have an iPod, and then the Walkmans. It doesn't matter how popular your Walkman was. Then that became outdated right on the spot, and everybody wanted digital music on the iPod. They moved over. Then we had the GPS, And now we have the iPhone that basically, or the Androids for that matter, that
Hmm.
basically have everything in one thing. You have the basically the iPod, the GPS, the phone, and everything in one package. And even today, you see some people that don't like smartphones. I understand, but I would say that 95% of people have a smartphone. And guess what? Through the smartphone, now I would say, what do you think the percentage is in terms of search, of searching for business services?
Oh, it's more than 50% do it from a smartphone now. More.
Than
It's
from
a really,
desktops.
yeah. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I know it's more than half.
It would be more than 50%
Yep.
people, right?
Yep.
And obviously, I would say that if you start categorizing by age brackets, if
Hmm.
you go from young adults all the way up, all the way down to youth, to teenagers, whatever they are looking for, it would be like 90%, if not
Hmm.
100% of
Hmm.
these age bracket will do it on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. And those are good points. And so the millennial generation has I think the last year of the millennial generation is now 18. So they're all adults. Some of them are buying homes now. Some of them have condos, and so they need services, home improvement services. They have cars, so they need car services. They have, all of these things where service industry people, sadly, the United States population as a whole, there is a shortage of service industry people. Everything, plumbers, electricians, roofers. There is a shortage. There is no. We're not really. There's not really a focus on people going into the trades these days, and as a result, the tradespeople in general are older. Generation X or
Yeah.
boomers, and they're a little more reluctant to use technology to promote their businesses, market their businesses, get their branding out there. And we will have an episode on branding at some point because that is extremely important.
Okay.
Um, but they're reluctant to do these things, and they are hurting themselves because there's a shortage. If it's hard, even landscapers. So I'll use landscaper as an example.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of landscapers in Meriden too. But I put out feelers on the Facebook group, in the Meriden group, looking for a landscaper. Um, late last spring, I believe, and got a bunch of responses, which is great. Most of them did not have much of an internet presence, not much of a Facebook presence. Um, the few that did, I reached out to, and then there's a different problem. There's the follow through. They don't come to your house, or they don't want to do take your house as a client for whatever, for various reasons. Um, so I never actually found a landscaper, but in big part, there's probably landscapers out there that just never, that aren't on Facebook, so they weren't even aware that somebody was looking for a landscaper. The flip side of that is when there's snow coming, I will see some landscapers actually post in those same Facebook groups saying, "Hey, if you need your driveway plowed, let us know. We can take on a few more clients." And so now they're using technology to their advantage and
Yeah.
innovating. They're innovating. They're putting themselves out there. And those are, at the end of the day, we haven't gotten much snow this year, Yanni, but at the end of the day, those are the ones that are going to grow their business as long as they're keeping up their end of the bargain, as long as they're going out and doing the job they say they're going to do.
Yeah. I mean, like you basically implied in everything you said, it is key to be found in the middle of this social media era. You have to be found in there. You have to have a presence. And again, people asking for recommendations, there is a big difference. Like, for instance, when we have been recommended a few times
Mm-hmm.
through these groups, when they are asking for referrals for roofing companies or siding companies, and whoever recommends us, they basically attach our page,
Right.
Jargera Construction, and it makes a big difference because if people click on that link, it opens up a page that contains a website, pictures, a phone number, and a whole bunch more of information. as opposed to just saying call this person and then a phone number. You still have some skepticism because you're calling somebody you don't know. You don't know if he has insurance. You don't know if he has a license. You don't know how he does business. Now, when you open up a page, the page is actually exposing the company to some extent. Is being more transparent because you're giving
Mhm.
more information. You're giving the address of your location. You're giving your number. You're giving your fax number. And that brings, again, that creates to some extent some amount of trust and confidence in the consumer.
Yeah. And that's important. The trust is, at the end of the day, trust is key. You build trust differently now than you did 20 years ago. So you have to know how to build that trust now versus 20 years ago. If you're using methods from 20 years ago, you're not, again, not to overstate it, but you're not innovating. And you mentioned something else that's important too. You mentioned that you open up that Facebook page and you're going to see information there. And if they get to a Facebook page that's very seldomly utilized and doesn't have, let's say, their logo or an image of the owner, or maybe a picture of the trucks they have or whatever, um, they're seeing a business that's not in their minds. They're seeing a business that's not active. I know with Yargetta, you guys post pictures of jobs you do all the time.
Yeah.
And actually those pictures get a lot of traction because you get a few people that like or share those pictures or comment on those pictures, and those pictures end up going all over Facebook, and people see them and say, okay, this is, you're building a brand. And the numbers change all the time, but there's a saying in marketing, something along the lines, it takes like 10 or 12 touches before somebody will even pick up a phone and call you. And in some cases that's true. Sometimes they'll just Google or search Facebook or ask for a recommendation on Facebook, and based on the number of recommendations and your image on the internet, they'll call. But sometimes, yes, they need to see it repeatedly before they say, okay, I'll go with Yargetta Construction, or I'll go with,
Yeah.
Johnny's Painting, or whatever it is.
Whatever the case is.
Right. And you're subliminally sending a message to them by them seeing this information. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't need a roof today. Maybe I will need a roof in 5 years, and I'll say, oh, I know someone because I've seen their work multiple times.
And Scott, aside from the recommendation from the group, let's say from the Meridian group, when you go to the company's page, there's also a place for people who have had services done by the company to put
Mhm.
reviews. So
Right.
you also find reviews on companies' Facebook pages. Basically,
Right.
you can see, like, we have, I believe, 15 recommendations by now. Some people have written nice reviews on us on our Facebook page.
Right.
So right there and then you have reviews. You have actual people that have actual profiles that wrote something on your page that is legit. That is very legit. You can click on the profile of the person that wrote it. You can even inquire from the person, and you have a great free referral right there.
Yeah. And so that's a good point too. You don't want to fake reviews. You can sniff them out really really easily, because you'll see there's no reviews for a long time period, and then all of a sudden they have like 20 reviews in a 24-hour window, and those are fake.
Yep.
With a good business, you'll see reviews over a period of time. Obviously, if you're a roofing company, you're not doing 20 roofs in the same week, unless
Yep.
you'd have to be a massive roofing company to do that. Um, and if you see a bunch of reviews all at the same time, something doesn't smell right. And then also something to keep in mind with reviews, occasionally you can't please everybody. Somebody will
Yeah.
occasionally be dissatisfied. And we all know that when people are dissatisfied with a service or a product, they're more likely to take to the internet and review it.
That
So
is
it
correct.
is it is it should be expected that there will be one or two bad reviews mixed in with 20 or 30 good reviews. And
Yeah.
if you don't see that, then, I mean, not to say that not everybody can, not some businesses might have all great reviews, but some, and then there's even some people that think a 1-star review is the best kind of review. So they may mess up and give you a 1-star, but then you read the actual review and they're like, oh, this company's great. And so there's all different variations on that. So you can almost always tell when the reviews are fake.
Yes,
So
yes, I
it's not
agree.
something you want to fake. And you can also, something to keep in mind is that people don't just review on Google or Facebook. There are a ton of places. There's, Yelp is another place. There are a
Hmm.
ton of places on the internet where you can leave reviews for a business. They may have reviews on their website, the
On
Better
their
Business
website.
Bureau. So it don't, so, look around to see what else is out there, and keep in mind that if they only have 2 reviews on Facebook, that doesn't mean they don't have reviews somewhere else.
Yeah.
Something else to look like, and you can see, you almost always the trend. So Facebook reviews are 2 stars, then Google's probably 2 stars as well, or Yelp is probably 2 stars. So it's usually the same across the board. Yeah. We got off topic though. um, but reviews. So that's actually, it is in a way innovation, right? So we have, maybe,
Well,
I know
in a
for sure
way,
10 years ago, reviews were not on the internet, were not relevant.
no,
5 years ago, maybe it was in its infancy. So now it's a big thing.
it is a big thing. It is actually the digital word of mouth.
Right.
We can call it that way
Right.
because you have
That's what it
a
is.
digital word of mouth right there. But like you said, people would be able to tell if it is legit or if it is not. As simple as that. And again, when you connect all the dots, like when you do your the homework, and this also
Mhm.
goes out for homeowners. You go to Facebook, you go to Google, you go to Yelp, to the BBB, you go to all those, even to the company's website, and you compare the reviews. You will be able to tell the legitimacy of the whole thing, and that will help. Again, going back to trust and innovation, it will create this amount of trust and confidence, even to just make the first phone call. Because some people, before calling now, do their homework. A lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people actually,
Not some people, a lot of people. Yep.
they look you up, and they say, you know what, this company this looks a little fishy to me. This
Yep.
website or these reviews, I better call this other company. So you can lose a lot of business, like you said, Scott,
Yep.
if you're
Yep.
missing out on this information, on these changes that are taking place, how the industry, how marketing is changing, technology, social media, the way things are done now. If you miss out on these, you definitely are going to lose business.
Yep. 100% agree. And then the flip side of that is, if you are a homeowner or a business owner who needs those services, do your homework. Don't just trust the first thing that comes through your door. Um, do your homework. Make sure they are trustworthy. Make sure they do have the insurance and the license. The business owners, those that require a license, their license information should be on their website.
Yep.
Not really a way to share your insurance information on a website, except to say that you do have insurance, but you can verify that insurance when they show up at your home or business. So definitely do your homework, because, let's just take insurance as an example. If contractors at your house and they don't have insurance and they get hurt, your insurance is on the hook.
Yep.
And it's not a fun process. So it's not something you want to put yourself at risk for. So do your homework. But again, that's innovation, right? In a sense, I was thinking it, to form an LLC, not even that long in Connecticut, was only a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago. It was a big process. It was a really big process. Today, if it's a single member or 2-member LLC, it's really an easy process. You go on the state's website, you fill in a couple of blanks, you pay them, and it's done. And that's
Yeah.
innovation.
That's innovation. And
Yeah.
and you know what, Scott? The same is true about permits. And when we have to pull permits to replace roofs, and we always
Hmm.
do. And for homeowners, make sure that the contractor pulls a permit and that you have a permit and the permit is closed. In the town of Newington, where we are located, actually, we have great advantages when it comes to permits. We can go on their web, you apply for the permit online, and they approve it right away online. So like in 5 minutes, you have a permit.
Nice.
You don't have to go to the town anymore. in some towns you still have to go because they haven't updated, and it goes
Right.
down, comes down again to innovation. They haven't innovated. They haven't made the change. In Newington, they did, and it's so much easier than before. You don't have to take that trip. You don't have to fill out a whole bunch of hard copy papers anymore. You just do it online, and it's really quick, very effective. You pay online, and it's done.
So you're saving yourself probably a few hours of work that you and so you have to spend a few hours to go do that. A few hours that you could be on a job site or a few hours you could be doing something in your business. That's actually saving you a lot of money.
It is actually saving you time and money,
Time
which
and money, and time is money, right? It's in business. If you have to take a few hours out of your business day to go fill out paperwork at the local town hall, that's time. Time is money at that point. That's and so that's innovation, like you said. And these are ways that in business you should be able to innovate. You can, there's that, like you said, there's easier ways to measure the roof and get an estimate quicker to the homeowner or the business owner. There's now we have drones, so you can go up and take pictures with a drone.
that is right.
Um, and they're becoming more and more popular now.
Yes,
By the way, don't fly a drone without a license. You do need to get a license, but I believe it's
good
only
point. Good
five
point.
dollars or $15. It's not much. So
Very simple, very cheap. Yeah.
yeah. So it's it's not like you're going to be out $1,000 or anything. It's pretty affordable. Um, but you do need a license. But that's what not just roofers, realtors are doing it. They'll take a drone up and take a picture of the whole property so that they can use that in their sales process. Let's see, landscapers will do that. Insurance companies will do that.
Yeah.
So but that's innovation. Drones are very affordable. There's some people that are actually creating drones with a 3D printer now.
Yep.
And so again, that's innovation. Instead of going out and buying a drone, you get the schematics and you print it out with a 3D printer. Um, Innovation now, because of technology, moves really fast. So you do have to stay educated.
Absolutely. And I believe we're actually um, emphasizing targeting construction companies
Right.
as of this moment, but I think the innovation thing goes out to any organization.
Right.
Any type of organization at some point has to embrace innovation, has to adapt to change in order to thrive. If it doesn't happen, like you said, you're gonna fall behind and you're gonna start losing ground.
Right. Right. And that's the key. If you're not innovating, you're dying. Essentially, your business is dying. And Macy's is seeing that now. Sears just saw that last year. All these
Yeah.
businesses, another example. So I know Macy's and Sears and all these businesses, they look at Amazon and say Amazon is what did this to us. Walmart could say the same thing, but Walmart didn't just sit back and wait,
Yeah.
and they made some changes. Delivery service is becoming even more and more important. So these restaurants now, so that's another way of innovation. So nobody wants to everybody wants everything to be delivered to their home.
Yeah.
So we have these apps now. You have Uber Eats and
Yeah.
DoorDash and a few others out there.
Yeah.
You can order from any restaurant and have it delivered to your home now. And
It is growing and growing. My sister-in-law in Waltham, Massachusetts, she owns an ice cream place and she's using these services already.
oh yes,
They're delivering ice cream. So you can see that, I mean, you have to embrace, as business owners, we have to embrace innovation.
right.
Um, this will continue to grow, this will continue to change, and we just have to keep informed, and not
Right.
only informed, but also open. We have to have an open mind to what's going on. We have to allow ourselves some time to process this, and we have to make this. We have to make changes.
Continuous education.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. So if the powers that be in your business are not continually educating themselves on what's out there, and what processes can be improved, and what marketing methods can be improved. As an example, we for Google, we used to focus on keywords,
Hmm.
meta keywords. We don't do that anymore. That's gone. But a lot of marketers still do it. It doesn't hurt you, but it doesn't help you, and it's a waste of time at that point.
Yeah,
If you don't know what Google's looking for today, then you're not innovating. And Google today wants to know that people, when they come to your site, that the site is relevant to what they went there for. So they're looking at things like, how long are they spending on your website? What are they doing on your website? They're not looking at, do you have the right keywords on your website anymore? That's
correct.
there's still keywords are still a part of it, but it's not the way it used to be. And so you have to know that things change. And I know I saw, I saw a company right here in Meriden. Their website was built with software that doesn't even exist anymore. So the website's at least 20 years old. It hasn't been touched in 20 years. Um, that's not innovating. You have to do the updates. You have to provide what what people ultimately. Google wants what people want. So if people want it, then you need to do it.
And when it comes to innovating, I understand that small businesses sometimes don't have the means to start doing all these things all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
But a Facebook page is free.
Mm-hmm.
You can upload your pictures and put your information, and it's free. And if you want to run a Facebook ad, you can advertise yourself a lot cheaper than you can do with other, um, companies. So it's a good start. It's baby steps, but you're starting to do something. Also, if a landscaper, for example, or a painter that are just beginning their company, it is very important to build a website. You can start with something basic and then join it or link it to your Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and you already have something to back yourself up. A lot of times when I go out to see jobs, leads that we get through our services, um, people, get my business card, then they go back inside the house. I measure the roof, or I look at the siding, or whatever the call is for. And then they come out and tell me, you have great reviews on your website. You have great reviews in Google. Um, when they already called us on Google because of the review, but they go check our website again. And then they compare the logo of the website with the logo of our truck, with the logo of my shirt, with the logo of my business card. And they connect the dots. And again, it builds trust right on the spot. And sometimes we get hired not because we are the cheaper, but because we are the most trustworthy.
Right. It's perceived value. They're getting perceived value because now they're trusting you, which is important, and they know that you're going to do it right based on just on the information on the internet. They know you're going to do the job right, which is also important, and ultimately that saves money in the long run anyway.
Yes, it
Um, yeah, so those are important aspects. Um, yeah, that's good
So
stuff,
Scott,
Amy.
can we give? I mentioned a couple, but can you think of more? I mentioned that the first steps for some small businesses, and I'm just randomly choosing services like landscapers or painters or roofers.
Hmm.
In my opinion, build your Facebook page, invest some money in a basic to start a basic website. Can you think of something else that we can recommend for small
Yeah,
businesses in order to have a better presence in today's technological era?
yeah. One of the most important ones, in my opinion, is the Google My Business page. Because on the Google, when you search Google, and most of us have gone to Google to search for something. When you search Google, the way the page is currently laid out, they have the ads at the top, and if Google guarantees an option, that's actually even higher up than the ads. So let's take roofers as an example. Painters are not eligible for Google guarantee yet. I'm sure they will be at some point. But Google guarantee is at the top. Then the
Yes.
regular Google ads. Then you have the Google Map Pack, and that's Google My Business, and that's free to set up. So you just go in, you fill out some information about your business. So it's basic stuff like what is the business, the website, the phone number, the address, all that. They will then most likely, occasionally you'll get lucky and be able to verify by phone, but most of the time it's postcard. You'll get the postcard within a few business days. you put the PIN number, and now your listing is live on Google. And it's that second or third spot, depending on what the business type is. And then below that is the organic results. Now, imagine for a minute, Yanni, if you have Google Guarantee, and then you're running an ad on top of that, and then you're in the map pack, and now you're on the organic. So now we've seen your business at least 4 times on the
Four
first page
times
of Google,
on the same page.
on the same page. And so now, in the Google Map Pack, by the way, so if your business is if your business is getting reviews on Google, that's where the
Yeah,
reviews are going to be.
that's what the reviews show. That's
Right.
right.
So they'll see the stars, and then you could click on it and review and read the reviews. So that setting up Google My Business, just go to google.com/my business and set that up.
That is great.
Completely free. And I would even go a little further than that, depending on the business and how important it is. But you can set up your business on Yelp. You can set it up on MapQuest. You can set it up on Apple Maps. You can set up, and all those are free to set up. Yes, they do have advertising. Google has ads. All
Yeah,
those other ones have ads, but you don't have to do the ads. If budget is a concern, you know,
correct.
it's important to be smart. And that's what when we sit down with a business owner, we'll say, your budget, if your budget is blank, then this is what you need to focus. We'll say this is the most important thing to focus on based on your budget and based on your business needs. If they
Yes.
can't afford anything except Google My Business and Facebook page, then absolutely we'll tell them, go do this, because it's not going to cost you anything. Set it
No.
up, make sure you're active with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
and it will make a difference, believe it or not.
Yes, it will.
Like you said, be found on Google Maps, Facebook, and on Google Maps on that page that you mentioned. Actually, the first page of Google, you can put your website if you have one. You can put your website, and they can click on your website. You can put your phone number too, right? And they can
Right.
call you.
And they could
So it
call you,
is a
right. So
great, it is a great free tool.
And we mentioned earlier that more than half of searches are done on a smartphone now. And if they search for your business type, and you come up and you have the Google My Business app on your phone, they can message you directly on your phone. They don't even have to see your phone number. They can message you directly on your phone. And if you're not there, they're messaging someone else.
And you know what? And that's the app. That app, that's relatively new too, Scott. You
The
said
app, the service itself isn't new. It used to be done through
the
texting.
texting.
Now it's through the app, and that's
Now you
not
get
even a
the app,
year.
and we have had a lot of requests via that tool.
Nice.
People send you a message. Again, they don't even want to bother because that's changing too. A lot of people are more private. The market is becoming very private.
And they don't
People
want
just
to talk
want
on
to
the
send
phone.
a message or a text message to you. So when you have this tool, you have this service that is free. They can send a text message to your phone, basically to this app, and you can
Right.
correspond with them. You can make an appointment. It is a great tool. Again, it is
Yep.
a great tool, and things are changing. We are seeing more and more people inquiring or asking for appointments or asking questions through this app.
Right. Yep. That and Facebook, the Facebook Messenger. A couple of years ago, I used to completely ignore Facebook Messenger and tell people, if you want to talk to me, text or call. Now I do. I might communicate more through Facebook Messenger than anything else at this point.
I agree.
And
Same here.
it's that's how people want to communicate. So you have to meet them where they are. They don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not want to make phone calls anymore. A lot of people would prefer to message or email, something that doesn't require, I don't know, for whatever reason, dialing a phone. But that's what they want. So you have to meet them where you are. And that's part of innovation, meeting people where they are.
And I
Five
think
years from
you
now, it
said
might
this,
be
Scott.
might be completely different 5 years from now. Who knows?
Things will continue to change,
Yeah.
and you actually said it twice. Two keywords. You gotta, well, actually a few words. You have to meet them where they are. In other words, I mean, business owners, they had to adapt to what's going on. You
Right.
have to be able to adapt to this new way of communication. It's not even taking place on the phone.
Right.
Is via Facebook Messenger. Can you imagine that? Is
Right.
you just texting basically back and forth with a potential client.
Yep, you are 100% accurate. I should have mentioned this earlier. I forgot. You guys are more than welcome to ask questions. where we can answer questions if you have them. We should have said that earlier, Yanni, but hey,
I agree.
our first run, we'll get it right. Don't worry. Um,
Well, we have 10, I think 11 minutes actually to be more
right.
accurate,
Yeah, about 10. Yep.
uh, till the end of this podcast. And yeah, yeah, any question is welcome.
And if you missed part of this or all of this, it will be uploaded to Facebook, to YouTube, to a whole bunch of different places on our website, rooftopmarketinggroup.com. So if you missed it and you want to hear it again, or even if you didn't miss it, and you want to hear it again, go check that out. Just a reminder, we are having our we've done this a few times now. We have our home improvement business builders seminar coming up in 2 weeks from tomorrow in Springfield, Mass. So if you want to join us there, just give us a call. I can never remember our phone number. I think it's 833-384. I'm trying to do it from memory. Hang on. 833-384, because I can't see it on there. I'll tell you right now.
It's only showing part of the information.
Okay. 833-384. I know it's 833-3, the top.
That's right.
833-384-3867. There we go. 3867. So if you want to call and reserve your spot, it is a little limited. We don't have, unlimited seats, so you'll want to get on that right away. Or you can just go to our website, and on the top right of the page, there is an orange button that says HIBS, HIBBS 2020. You can click that and fill out your information, and we will get you squared away. Beyond that, again, I see we do have a few people watching. So if you have questions, feel free. Anything related to business in general, marketing, Google. I'm a Google certified partner, so I don't, not to toot my own horn. I'm a pretty modest person, but there's a lot of SEOs out there that believe things should be done certain ways, and I don't follow any of their methods completely. Some of what they say I agree with, some of what they say I don't agree with. To me, at the end of the day, it's about engagement on your website. So if you have questions on how I drive traffic and drive the right people to your website, because anybody can drive a million visits to your website. It's not hard at all. But I want to drive the people that will actually do business with you to your website. So, if you're a plumber in central Connecticut, you're not interested in people coming to your website from California, because it's not going to help you. So that's the way I do it. I do things. And that's how we do it at Rooftop. And we do some other stuff too, but we won't talk about that right now. If you want to learn about what we do, come to our seminar. How's that for a plug? Any questions about innovation from anybody? We do have a
And
few
if
people
someone
watching.
wants to ask in Spanish, I'll be happy to answer in Spanish as well.
There you go. In Espanol. I'm learning Spanish, Yanni. I'm innovating.
You are doing a great job. You are innovating. You are embracing change, and it is true.
Yep.
Hispanic population is growing.
It's booming. Yes, it is.
Yes, yes, it is. And just throwing another a tip that we already touched on, but if don't be afraid to take risks. And this is to business owners that are beginning. I want to read something to you really quick. It says that companies that prospered during times of economic, social, and technological restructuring have had four crucial elements. And I'm just going to read one that basically it goes along with the topic of, that we're discussing today. They were risk takers. They understood how to take the kind of risks that allow them to adapt. It's hard sometimes to change. It's hard to take risks, but it is necessary in today's market. We have to be able to take those risks. And maybe a risk might be just start a Facebook page. Maybe you don't like Facebook, but guess what? Take a risk, give it a try, list your business on Google Maps, and you will see a difference. You will see a difference. That is for sure.
Yeah. Yes, that is spot on. And I agree. you know, Facebook is not for everybody. Even if you create a Facebook page, you don't have to interact on a as yourself on Facebook. Just interact as your business. 100% agree. Facebook is not for everybody. There's other social media platforms too you can use to get your name out there, but I would recommend for most business, especially business to consumer type businesses, so plumbers, electricians, roofers, painters, all those things that do home repair. Facebook is important. You're not going to get as much business from LinkedIn for that type for business to consumer B2C. You're not going to get it from LinkedIn. Facebook, you will. Um, more innovation would be using Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram is a visual platform, and in some respects, it's a little limiting, but in some respects, it's important because it is visual, and all of those businesses I listed, believe it or not, they are visual businesses, right? If you're doing plumbing work, and I follow plumbers and electricians and all of those things on Instagram. If you're doing some plumbing, maybe you go to a site, and by the way, I'm not anywhere near a plumber, so I'm probably going to not speak technically correctly. But maybe they're using old piping, or they didn't do it right or something. You take pictures of before and after. This is something you share on Instagram, and this is something people will see and say, wow, okay, this is the kind of service I need. It's a lot of people believe you need to be the cheapest, and it's not about cheapest. It's about having the perceived value. um, if you have if your perceived value is better than the next guy, then you're doing better than the next guy. And Instagram is a great way. A lot of businesses balk at it, but Instagram is a great way to show that perceived value.
Yeah, and you said something key again. I believe that our culture is image driven today.
Mm-hmm.
It is about an image. It is about a brand. It is about a logo. Starbucks, for example, once you see the Starbucks thing, I mean, you have no idea how many people are drawn to Starbucks, even though if you do a comparison between the Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts in terms of cost, there's a big difference right
Right.
there. But you still see those Starbucks packed, and you see people holding cups with the logo of the Starbucks. That's a brand.
Yep.
That's a brand right there. It's an
That's exactly what it
image-driven
is.
society.
Yep. Starbucks is worldwide. Dunkin' Donuts, if you're outside of the East Coast, you don't know what Dunkin' Donuts is. And so that is brand driven, and there was a lot of innovation, especially in the early parts of Starbucks development. And they
Yes,
still try to innovate even today. Yes.
yes, they are.
Yep. That's good stuff, and those good points, very valid points. So innovation is not just technical stuff, not just technology, not just online stuff. It's every aspect of your business. Maybe your bookkeeping isn't as innovative. You're still using, a graph pad. That's how I learned accounting. If you still use a graph pad to do your bookkeeping, or if you're still using Excel to do your bookkeeping, it's time to look at other ways to do it, because there's much more efficient and innovative ways to do it. And in every aspect of your business, there's going to be ways you can innovate.
Yes, yes, I agree. We're down to the last three, actually, last 2 minutes, Scott.
Yes.
I believe it has been a great discussion. And again, if someone couldn't be part of this because of the timing, you said we are going to put it up on our Facebook page.
It'll be up, actually up on Facebook immediately, because I don't have to do anything for it to be on Facebook. And I will then take it and upload it to YouTube. Maybe I can get some bits and pieces and put it on Instagram, on our website. It'll definitely be on our website at some point today. So there'll be lots of options to go and watch it. I'll even get it transcribed. We have a transcription service, which is some innovation there. Um, Always innovating, right?
That is
So all of those, it will be available pretty much anywhere you can look for it. We will eventually, as we get a few episodes, we'll get it all uploaded to Apple and Google Podcasts. It'll be everywhere.
sounds great. Sounds great. Well, it's been great to be here, Scott,
Yes,
and we
sir.
look forward to meeting those folks out there.
Yes,
that
sir.
are watching.
Yes, sir. Don't forget our home improvement business builder seminar. Hibbs. It's easier for me to say Hibbs.
I like it.
February 22nd, 2 weeks from tomorrow in Springfield, short drive from where we are in central Connecticut. I think it's not even 45 minutes. So hopefully we'll see you there. If not, we will schedule another one of these very soon. It'll be one of our 4 principles again. So we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you, Yanni.
Thank you, Scott.